2 months to the end of the year, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please be in shame. 2 months to Christmas, 2 months to me receiving gifts. The best gift you can give me is subscribing to my YouTube channel, House of Ruby, or go and like my Facebook page, House of Ruby. Welcome. This is HR Fridays, your weekly dose of HR with me, your host, Ruby Engena, rocking my House of Ruby t-shirt. If you want one, contact me and I'll make sure I get it to you as soon as possible. So this month we've been speaking about working smart. Yeah, not this hard work all the time, putting in a lot of effort. This time we're talking about how exactly do you work smart? How do you put in routines and how you prioritize on work, on what is urgent and what is important. And I'm so excited of our next guest because one, she is a mother, she is a wife, and she is a leader. Mrs. Sheila Birungi Kibalama, the Central Planning Manager at Coca-Cola Beverages Africa, is cool, calm, collected, but she's also very, very smart. And for purposes of this show, she is a smart worker. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Welcome to HR Fridays.
Thanks, Ruby.
How are you feeling today?
Very pleased. I'm so happy to be here, Ruby, in House of Ruby.
Happy to have you here, by the way. This is home, so feel free, come back anytime. Even in the middle of the month, you're like, Ruby, I have stuff to share.
Thank you.
Just fall through. So we've been speaking about working smart or smart working this past month. And because I know you personally, the decision to have you on the show came easy because I know you're very key about working smart, having like ABCD in place. But even before I go into that, I know you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a leader. Would you categorize yourself as a smart worker?
Yes, I would like to say I would. First of all, as you've said, I'm a mother, wife, a worker, friend. I like to think that in life we need to create a balance in all aspects. So working smart makes you to create that balance. And that is my goal in life. I really see myself working smart because one, it helps me to work seamlessly, it helps me to deliver timelines, and it helps me to be able to balance all the other aspects, as you have seen, being a worker, a mother, a wife, and all these things. And so creating that balance, I really believe the only way to do it is through working smart.
Okay, interesting. So let me take you back a bit. What exactly is working smart, in your own opinion?
Yeah. I would define working smart as having a goal and creating an element of quality. Creating an element of quality in order to achieve that goal. One, working smart means that you have to be able to work and deliver things on time. Yeah, and for us to be able to deliver things on time in all aspects of life, you must be able to create systems around yourself. You have to create processes, you have to connect the right networks.
And this works not only professionally but personally as well.
Yes, personally, because as you've said, working smart helps you to be able to work things on time, to be on time, to prioritize and be able to deliver things without stressing your life, because we are human beings. You cannot deliver 150%. You don't have any superpowers in you. So you want to deliver things, but creating the right balance, as I've said, and as I've said, defining smart working is really achieving your end goal through the quality of work that you've done. Yeah.
Sheila, we've had conversation before, and one of the things that comes up a lot in your conversation is your child.
Yeah.
And you keep speaking about how I had to put her on a schedule, I had to put her on a routine. You know, I'm managing her like this. So I know routines are really something big for you. Relate that for me to working smart.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I want to take back. Okay, one of the leaders I've known, and one of my great leaders I know at work. This person always emphasizes that routine are key in every aspect. The moment you create a routine, and I'm not saying create a routine that makes you inhuman. Yeah, we are not robots. Sorry, we are not robots. So creating a routine through work, and to relating to your question, for example, if you are a mother, And babies are a lot of work,
So
incredible. You get overwhelmed. And through maybe research, through reading, one of the things I learned and I didn't know before as a mother is creating also routines around your child. What are the things that your child follows on a day-to-day, so that also your life is so that you're able to work and know that your child is at peace. Even when you're at home, your child maybe to have a certain schedule, maybe to sleep by 9 p.m. so that you're able to do certain things after that. So and any child can go through it. It's about the discipline and also knowing that what are you going to do to achieve that discipline. And in the beginning it will always be tough, but once you create those systems, once you create those elements in your child's life, and it relates back also to the workplace, once you create routines and follow certain processes, and as I've said, you don't have to always stick to 100%, but at least 90%, I believe a routine makes your life very easy.
Let's speak briefly about routines and discipline. Because I believe a routine comes with self-discipline.
Yeah.
Let's say I have a routine that every day at 8 a.m. I'm going to take a glass of hot water.
Yeah.
What does that do for me as an individual, professionally, as well? The self-discipline to say, we'll have this meeting every Wednesday at 2 p.m.
I think, first of all, we work around people. That's the very important thing. Even if you're a person without a team, you may not have a team, but you work in a team. Maybe you're a leader, you have people. Also, you need to also create an environment for people to flourish and for people to be happy. You don't just wake up and say, Ruby, let's have a meeting. I think you need to also put in place whereby maybe maybe every week, Monday, we have a department meeting so that everyone prepares themselves for that. Even when you're a team and you're working together, and then you have a colleague and you tell them, Ruby, can we meet maybe for the next 2 weeks? We meet every Friday to discuss a certain element in our work. So the moment you create that discipline, just sometimes urgent requests come through, which I'm not putting aside, I'm not deciding. But the moment you create a routine and people understand that, yes, because you're also respecting someone's time, and the moment you've created an element of respect, then all things start to fall in place.
So Sheila, I like to think that the opposite of working smart is working hard.
Yeah.
Let's speak about hard work, working hard, putting in all that effort. Is it such a bad thing? Because from what you're saying, working smart is about the quality of the work you produce. But what if I produce that quality of work by putting in loads of that quality? Just let's have a conversation about working hard.
Okay, as I'd said, working smart is quality. I would like to say that working hard is through quantity. You're having a goal that you want to achieve. You can either choose to work hard or you work smart. But I also wouldn't want to say that one is better than the other. Yes, our goal is eventually to be a smart worker, but they all go hand in hand. For you to be able to achieve work smartly, you must also put in the time. And in any sort of assignment we have, the beginning is always tough, and we can't contest that. You always have to put in incredibly significant amount of hard work. In any new role, in any new environment, the first 3 to 6 months are always the toughest, and that's through hard work. You set up the concepts, you set up the processes, you set up a team. If it's family, you also set up systems around home to be able to, and that takes a lot of work. So, but the end goal at the end of the day, you don't want to create an environment for yourself whereby the whole year you're going to be working like a robot, crazy. So set up the systems. It will take time. You set up timeline and say, okay, the first 6 months I want to have set up this, which takes a lot of work. So as I've said, hard work, yes, will mean you're putting in a lot more quantity, a lot more effort in the same amount of time that you're going to achieve something. But let's try to limit it to a certain timeline and say, by this time, let me do this. Then from then, I can then start to work smart. So it's not such a bad thing, but I think at some point you need to define a timeline for it.
Speaking of timelines, you said in the first 6 months of a job, it's the hardest time.
Yes.
So eventually, when you've set up routines and processes, you should be working smart. Is this a timeline that you automatically know? Like, at what point do I sit there and say, okay, now I think I should be working smart? Have I been working hard for the past 5 years?
Yeah.
At what point do you know that now it's time for things to move
flow
seamlessly?
One of the things I know is we are all different. Sheila is a different personality, Ruby is a different personality, and God has created us in such a way that we can't all be the same. So what I call maybe as a certain timeline, maybe I need to achieve something in 3 months and put in a lot of effort, maybe 2 months for Ruby. So I think once you know who you are, you know what's realistically what you can achieve realistically, you start to tell yourself, how can I achieve this maybe within 4 months? Because this is maybe Ruby. I'm setting a timeline for myself. And the moment you do that, the moment you understand who you are, the moment you understand what you achieve, then you put your effort into that. So I think the most important thing is, first of all, knowing what you can achieve, who you are, and then putting your efforts into that sort of assignment you're.
So self-awareness.
Self-awareness, exactly.
Because if I try to be like Sheila.
Yes, So, but also you create self-awareness, but also through discipline. Because you're not going to say, I'm going to do something in 3 months, and then 6 months down the road, it comes. You really have to keep yourself honest.
A struggle that many people have, I as well, is prioritizing. So let's just speak briefly about how do I know what is urgent, what is important.
Okay. First of all, urgent, we all know urgency. Something comes in, you've not planned for it, and maybe it affects the business operations, or it affects you maybe in terms of money, in terms of any very key elements. So you've not planned for it, but also you have something important that you need to deliver. So I would say they are all high up in the radar in terms of priorities. But how do you also create a system such that, yes, you have an urgent request that has come through, but you have also an important one? You delegate. And that's something that sometimes we don't think about.
You want to do it.
And even if you don't have a team, we all work in teams. There are very few people who work alone. How do you create networks and you know that, okay, this is super urgent, I need to deliver this, I have an important task, but Ruby can step in for me. Ruby can maybe attend an important meeting. I then settle down on this task. So yes, I'm not saying that we will have to delegate everything, but creating systems around to make your life easier, and also learning when to say no also I think is key, because you're not going to accept everything. And also be honest with people. Sometimes we want to make people think we are superpowers, so you must be able to put timelines and tell people that, oh, by the way, I can't deliver this tomorrow. This is what I need to do to be able to achieve that.
Are we saying, Sheila, that not everything that's urgent is important, and not everything that's important is urgent?
Not really.
Is everything that's urgent important?
Yes, I would think so.
But is everything that's important urgent?
No. Yeah, and I think you have a very key point there, because you, as I've said, you may have something that's important, but not urgent. So why not delegate? Why not maybe take through someone on how to do it, and then you focus on what's really high up in the radar. So, and it comes down again to priority. Because you know what affects, if something affects operations, you know that maybe a factory is going to close down, you're going to lose money, someone is affected, then you really have to give that focus. But then you create an element of ownership on also the other items.
I hear you. I hear a lot. Actually, key things I'm hearing are prioritizing, routines. But conclusively, Sheila, walk me through some of the routines or some of the key aspects that have helped you become a smart worker. Because I don't believe you just woke up and became a smart worker, But there are things that, are key for you. And
Thanks for the compliment. I also will learn, and I think I can get better with working smart. But some of the things that are helping me get there, and I think top 3 are: 1, as I've mentioned, and I've talked a lot, team. Once you create a great team, or once you're a great team member, all other elements start to flow, because you begin to develop trust amongst yourselves. And then you begin to say, how do we split items within the team? And even as a leader, how do you create trust in your team so that people know that there's ownership, they need to deliver items, yeah? You're not going to wake up and say, you have an assignment that we need to deliver and we have to work up to midnight. Yes, sometimes it will be an urgent request, but that's not going to be our way of life. So how do you create ownership within a team? How do you work as a great team member so that you're able to ask for help, you're able to reach out, you know, because there's a lot you can get in reaching out to people. Yeah. Then secondly, I've talked about prioritization. One of the key things I found that once you prioritize, everything falls in place. Obviously, prioritizing comes with learning. You know, with learning, and you get to know that, you know, certain things are up in a radar, some are medium, some are low. And once you categorize all your tasks in terms of priority, you then start to begin to work smarter through all those elements. And then thirdly, I talked about routines. Sometimes we really minimize the power in routines, and in all our aspects. I'm not talking about just the workplace, in our family, in our friends. So once you create a routine and you know that maybe on this day I need to do this, on this day I need to maybe spend time with my family, at this time I need to read a book. Once you create that routine, you then follow it, and then you start to see the output come through. So for me, those are the three key things that stick out to me, amongst others, but I think those are the top three that I really have worked for me for some time.
Okay, Sheila, thank you very much, first of all, for being on the show. And, you know, just conclusively about your last three things. This is a plea from me to you. One, let's be a team.
Yes.
Two, prioritize my show.
Definitely.
Make it a routine to watch my show every Friday on my Facebook page and every last Friday of the month on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ruby, and thanks for the show. We're really learning a lot.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. To the rest of the viewers, you heard it from Sheila herself. Routines, teams, priority. If you want to work smart, because at the end of the day, it's about the quality of work you deliver and not really the quantity of time that you put to deliver the work. Remember, this is HR Fridays, every last Friday of the month on my YouTube channel, House of Ruby. Better subscribe. And every Friday on my Facebook page, House of Ruby. Remember, you are the CEO of you. See you next week.